What's the funniest reason you've been called into school to collect your child? Last Tuesday, I got a call from my son's elementary school at 11 a.m. The secretary sounded like she was trying really hard not to laugh when she said I needed to come pick up my 6-year-old immediately. Is he sick? I asked, already grabbing my car keys and wondering what disaster had struck this time. Well, not exactly sick, but there's been a significant incident involving the class pet, the art supplies, and approximately half the classroom. My heart sank. Our family has 3 cats, 2 dogs, and a turtle named Gary. My son loves animals more than anything else in the world, but sometimes his enthusiasm gets him into serious trouble at school. When I arrived at Lincoln Elementary, the principal was waiting in the hallway with the biggest grin I've ever seen on an adult's face. Behind her stood my son, completely soaked from head to toe, holding a very wet and extremely angry-looking hamster wrapped in paper towels. What exactly happened here? I asked, looking between the two of them and noticing wet footprints leading down the entire hallway. The principal could barely contain her laughter as she explained. Well, your son decided that Whiskers the class hamster looked dirty and desperately needed what he called a proper spa day treatment. My son nodded enthusiastically, water still dripping from his hair. He had old food stuck in his fur, Dad, and his water bowl was all gross and smelly. I couldn't just leave him like that. Apparently, during silent reading time, my son had very carefully and quietly removed Whiskers from his cage. He then carried the unsuspecting hamster to the classroom sink and used liquid hand soap, warm water, and a toothbrush from the art supplies to give him what he described as the full cleaning experience. The teacher discovered them when she heard splashing sounds and what sounded like a tiny animal having a complete meltdown coming from the sink area. She found my son gently scrubbing the hamster with an art paintbrush while singing "You Are My Sunshine" to try keeping the terrified rodent calm during his unwanted bath time. The hamster is completely fine, the principal quickly assured me. Your son was actually incredibly gentle and careful, but Whiskers absolutely did not appreciate the spa treatment and managed to spray soapy water everywhere when he tried his best to escape the situation. I looked through the classroom door. It looked like a small tornado had hit the reading corner. Books were soaked and scattered across the floor, papers were floating in puddles, and there were tiny wet paw prints leading from the sink to various hiding spots around the entire room. I was just trying to help him feel better, my son explained seriously, still holding the damp hamster like a precious treasure. Whisker smelled exactly like his hamster food, and Grandma Betty always tells me that clean animals are happy animals who live longer lives. The teacher, who was wearing borrowed gym clothes because her regular outfit was completely soaked, actually thanked my son for caring so deeply about their classroom pet. She said that in her 32 years of teaching elementary school, she had never seen a student show that level of genuine concern for an animal's personal hygiene and overall well-being. But the absolute best part came when we finally got to the car. My son looked up at me with those huge, innocent eyes and asked very seriously, "Dad, do you think Whiskers actually liked his bath?" He seemed really energetic and excited afterward when he was running around. I couldn't help but burst out laughing. According to the teacher, the hamster had apparently run exactly 3 complete laps around the classroom after my son finally managed to catch him again, probably trying his best to air dry his soaking wet fur as quickly as possible. On the drive home, my son made me solemnly promise that we could give all our cats proper baths that upcoming weekend, since they probably feel dirty and uncomfortable too, just like Whiskers did. I spent the rest of that afternoon carefully hamster-proofing our bathroom and hiding every single bottle of pet shampoo we owned. The next morning, my son's teacher sent home a handwritten note saying that Whiskers was doing absolutely great and had honestly never been cleaner in his entire hamster life. She also casually mentioned that they had moved the hamster cage to a much higher shelf in the classroom, just in case any other students got suddenly inspired by my son's dedication to comprehensive pet grooming services. 3 weeks later, my son proudly brought home an official certificate for Most Caring Classmate of the Month, along with a special photo of him very gently petting a fluffy, squeaky clean, and apparently much happier Whiskers.